Hello, Freaky Frighteners. You got the Brewster here. No, this is not the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast. This is still Brewster Vision presents Mental Hell, but I am joined by my co-host on the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast, Rick Paulton. What's up, buddy?
What is up, brother? We've been trying to do this for what, about 3 months?
Something like that since I started coming up with it. It's been fucking nuts over here.
We found time. Yeah, there's always something going on. I work like 8 million hours. You work like 8 million hours. If I am doing anything out of the, outside of this, I'm doing something with JP, and you have this thing against JP, and you can't hang out with him. So I don't know what it is.
I love JP. You shut the hell up.
JP motherfucking Cross Killers Confession. Shout out.
We'll give him a little shout out on that one. So you've seen the show before, and we're friends outside of it, so you know.
I've seen a little bit of it.
All right. Well, for people who
I've seen almost all of Kylie's episode.
That was a long one.
I've seen most. I think I might have seen hers all the way through. And I've seen a lot of Tiki's. And that's where I'm at. So I understand what it's about.
All right. So where do you want to start, man? I mean,
I don't know. It's your show, brother. You start with the questions. I'll start with the answers.
Okay. Well, when we had Vito on the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast, and we were talking about his character Wade in Pigpen.
Yes.
And you kind of hinted that kind of hit home for you.
Oh, most definitely. See, I grew up a. I was going to make the Steve Martin joke, but I'm not going to. Kind of did, though. But no, I grew up like I had a real fucked up childhood, man, like going way back to as far as I can remember. And I grew up in an abusive home, like in the movie where the mom had the abusive husband who beat her in front of us. I went through that in real life. Not quite to that extent. Yeah. I mean, my mom's, hands were still attached when she passed about a month ago. So she had that going for her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, definitely. I grew up really fucked up, man. Most people don't even have vivid memories of being 2-3 years old, but I do, man. I can go back to that time and tell you things like as if it was yesterday. And while I know a lot of Kylie and Tiki's subject matter and their thing was a lot about drug use and how that affected them. See, I've never really had a problem with drug use, but I have been affected by drug use.
Just so people know in the future, let me interject. That was just kind of like a coincidence that it was the first 3 guests were drug use and alcohol abuse. This is just trauma in general. If you had a bad childhood, as you said, so just because you never had drug use doesn't mean it's not worthy of being on here. You know what I mean?
Right. So as I was saying, my parents were heavy into drugs, but I think that came a little bit later, but so I was affected by drug use. I think because of them, I've never tried hard drugs because I was kind of afraid of it, just seeing the craziness with them. I did try marijuana, didn't like it. I dropped a lot of acid, man. I ate a lot of fucking acid. I ate my share, your share, his share, their share. And that was fucking fun. Yeah, but other than that, no, I never really dabbled into drugs. But my mom was 20 years old when she had me, if I'm not mistaken. Carry the one. 20 years old, and I'm her 3rd kid. So she's 20 years old with 3 kids by 3 different dads. To the best of everybody's knowledge, it's 2 different dads because she lied to dad number 1 about the middle child being his, but it wasn't his. And he ended up, he didn't raise the kid because he was a shitty dad. So, you'd like to say, oh, damn, it sucks that he tricked her into raising this broad, but, didn't happen because he was never around anyway. But he ended up, I guess, living his whole life thinking that was his daughter, and it wasn't. We found out because my sister's biological family lived downstairs from us at a house, and they were like, I guess somehow recognized her. And it was like, my mom was like, oh, yeah, that's the way that went down. I was like, okay. So, needless to say, so my mom, wasn't really the best mother. And, being a mother that early, you kind of can understand that, that she had a lot of trials, my grandfather owned a bar. We lived in said bar. My mom drinking very early age. And that's how things kind of started. And, again, I'm the son of the 3rd husband or 3rd, not husband. Actually, yeah, it is their 3rd husband, but 3rd baby daddy. And so by the time I'm born, she's married 3 times. She has 3 different kids with 3 different men. One of those husbands had no kids with her. So he was just married to her. I don't even know nothing about him. So she's had like 8 different names. It's just crazy. It's lunacy. So, and then after me, she had 2 more kids. So she ends up with 5 kids by the time she's 23. No formal education. I think she's a 9th grade dropout, if I remember right, maybe 10th grade. She's working in my grandfather's bar at the time. And yeah, so that's where we are. It's and then she ends up marrying my stepfather. Not at first, they get together and they have a very tumultuous relationship. As I said, that's what reminded me of the movie. They fight a lot. They fight in front of us a lot. They do lots and lots of drugs. They did lots and lots of cocaine in front of us. It's like we were just there. And yeah, so I digress a bunch, but while I never had a drug problem, drugs did play a part in the trauma that I lived.
So because of seeing them like that, you never wanted to get involved in that shit?
Me, no, but a couple of my brothers, yeah, they did. And I've always been smart enough that I didn't have to put my hand on the stove to know it's hot. You know what I mean? I could learn from other people's problems and, issues to know that, that's not a road I wanted to go down, because I'm not going to be the guy that casually smokes crack,
Yeah,
they don't exist.
No, yeah, it's like Vito said, what did he say? The sins of the father kind of thing, and we both know. I know someone who followed into, so I'm glad you didn't fall into that trap,
Yeah. So I guess I was going to tell a story, and I think this might be the easiest way to ease into my story, but I drive part-time for a living for Lyft, and I'm out driving, and I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking about different things. And one thought I had, since doing this podcast and meeting a bunch of people, I've met a bunch of filmmakers. I've met a bunch of actors, directors, what have you. So I was sitting there thinking one day, I'm really into horror. Obviously, that's where we connect.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd like to write a horror movie. And I was thinking about what would I do if I won $1 million? And I was like, I think this was shortly after we seen Secret Santa. We had Adam Marcus on, and we watched Secret Santa again. And I was thinking about what he did with $30,000. Then I thought about it. I said, well, what if I gave Adam $1 million?
Yeah.
What could we do with that? And then I started to think, what type of movie would I want to make? And as I'm sitting there thinking, I love like Friday the 13th. So I'm thinking a camp slasher, because we haven't had a good one in a while. And then, he's tied to Friday the 13th as it is. And then I start thinking a little bit more, and I'm like, well, it's been done to death. What idea can I come up with that nobody's really done? And then I started thinking about my life story and things that I've been through in life. And if anybody hears this idea and wants to steal it, make the movie, give me credit, talk to me a little bit. I'll help you make it, whatever the fuck. I won't care if you steal the idea. But I started thinking about my own life and how my own life could be a horror movie. From what I was just talking about, my parents doing drugs, the physical abuse, things like that as a youngster, and where that all went. So then I start thinking, how would I structure this? And jump in with a question anytime if I'm running off the mouth too much.
No, you're fine, dude.
Steer me in a different way. But so I started thinking, like, I'll make this movie that's 99% true. And I told a couple people about my idea for the movie, and then I told them, like, yeah, and except for people getting whacked all over the place, this is a true story. Nobody gets killed, but it is true. And then they were all shocked. Like, how the fuck did that happen in your life? So from a very young age, I get involved in the system, and I'm taken from my parents, and I'm in a home called Metzenbaum. I don't know what it's called, but if you ever seen the movie. The book's called Finding Fish. Denzel Washington directed the movie, and I believe the movie was called The Antoine Fisher Story, if not something like that. Look at Denzel. But this guy, he grew up in foster homes. He went to Metzenbaum, the home I was in, and he was sexually assaulted by babysitters. He was physically abused by his foster parents, and his life was very much parallel with mine. And of course, since he went to Metzenbaum, goes without saying, he's from Cleveland. So seeing that was like, wow, the same kind of things. So I'm thinking, like, in my movie, so the premise is there's a kid who's born to a mother that isn't ready to have a kid necessarily, doesn't really want a kid. And my mom, I don't think she ever wanted to be a mom in real life. My biggest memory, and she just passed like a month ago.
I remember.
Yeah, my biggest memory of her in my life, and it sticks out in my head so much, is her screaming in my face that she doesn't want me. Like literally, my mom had a horrible screechy fucking scream that would fucking like, oh God, it would just, like shake your fucking soul.
How old were you when you did this?
When this happened, the story I'm telling?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe no more than 7, no
Jeez.
younger than 4. So somewhere in that, and I just remember it like yesterday, her screaming in my face, and screaming like literally those words, "I do not want you," and it's like I grew up like very quick, man, because of like I'm 8 years old, but thinking like a grown man. I never really had a childhood playing with toys and all this bullshit. I'm thinking survival. So as I said, so I'm born to a mother that didn't really want a kid. So in the story, the guy's born to a mother that doesn't really want him. Abusive stepfather that's in the situation, which that was real, that really happened. Like there was a situation, my stepfather, who's actually right upstairs now. If you meet the guy, you would swear that these stories are lies. He's a great dude, like he's atoned for everything, and I love the man. My biological father wasn't there at all to punch me in the face, so I guess this was better. Maybe.
Let me interject here because I'm curious about this because you said nothing's off limits. So
nothing is off limits.
So I'm curious about this because I'm big on trying to explain to people how it's never too late to do the right thing and stuff. So if you want to start with your backstory and your stepfather, if he atoned for stuff, what did he have to atone for? Oh
well, as I was saying, so like he was physically abusive at times, a lot mentally abusive. He's very, very intimidating, especially as a kid. He's very intimidating, very strict. One time he, I can only think of 2 or 3 times where he got really physical with me. One time when he beat me with a belt so bad I couldn't walk for like days, welts all over me. And one time he punched me in my face for standing on the table. Why I was standing on the table, I don't know, but I don't think it warranted a full-on punch to the face. So I got this giant black eye, my shit's swollen like this. And like I said, I was in Paulton. All of them weren't bad. Metzenbaum we'll get back to. That was a bad place. But I was in a foster home where I kept in contact with my foster parents and my sister Misty that, we were going to go to that thing with one time. She's my foster sister. That's how I know her. And so I go over there for my every other week visit, and I got this big black eye, and he's telling me, you got to, I am one of the most honest people in the world. That's one thing my stepfather did instill in me. I don't lie about anything, but he's like, you got to tell them that you got hit with a baseball, and I did. And she knew better, she's not fucking stupid. So she pulls me in the room, and it broke my heart to lie to her about the baseball thing, because I just, even as a kid, I wasn't never a liar. I can't lie. I would rather just say exactly the way things are, because I have a thing, and I tell my kids this, if I tell somebody that the sky is green, they're not going to go outside and look. They're just going to assume it is because I don't lie.
Yeah.
So, so he was, when my foster parents had me, the ones I did keep in contact with, I was able, after she passed, to look through a bunch of her records, and the home wherever the state gave her to us. Now, they told her a lot crazier shit happened to us than really did. Like they said, my stepdad was a very sadistic bastard that liked to just burn us with cigarette butts because we had burns on our legs. But my parents did smoke, and I remember as a kid, like, again, I got a very vivid memory. I ran into their cigarettes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where those burns came from. He's not that sick of a bastard,
Yeah.
But that's what she always thought, because that's what they told her. So again, I remember the time he beat me with the belt really bad, and I remember the time he punched me in the face. But there was always the fear that he would hit me, even if he wasn't hitting me. I remember we were living in a second floor apartment, and right next to a window, and he's on one for God knows what. I can't remember that. But he's so close to me, and I'm like, if he smacks me, I'm going out this window, and I'm fucking dying. That's it. Yeah, I'm like really right next to the window, and it really felt like that was going to happen, And so that's that's where that is. But he, I remember, and I don't know, you're a little bit younger than me, right? How old are you?
44.
44. So 2-3 years younger than me. When I was about I'm going to go about 9 or 10 years old. There was a song that a little girl put out, and if I played this song, my dad would bawl. I guarantee he would start crying. Who was physically abused by her parents, and it was about like not beating kids, basically. And it's like, and he heard this song, and like he literally cried then, and he like promised to never touch any of us again, and he never did. And he still could be an obnoxious prick sometimes. But, that's just his nature, I guess.
So it was hearing one song that made him change?
I think so, man. I can't come up with anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that, and like, like maybe he needed that to realize, what he was doing was wrong. But yeah, he never even threatened to raise a hand to me. And like, I don't remember the song, but I remember it was a little girl singing it, and it was about her being physically abused, and it really, really affected him. So yeah, after that, he was totally cool. Well, not totally cool. Like I said, he could. I don't know. He grew up a little fucked up too, So it sounds like I'm making excuses for these guys, and you shouldn't make excuses.
So, my opinion, if he was continuing to do so, then you'd be making excuses for him. But since he snapped out of it and did the right thing, I don't think you're making excuses. I think you're because we talked about this with Vito, and I know people who've done this where something happens to them, they think it's okay to do it to somebody else, which could have been with your stepfather. But in his case, he was like, "Holy shit, this is not right. I got to stop thinking about just myself, and I got to think about other people." Yeah. Whereas these past people just like, well, it's their fault, not mine. It's okay because this happened to me. I can do whatever I want to other people and blame trauma. You know what I mean?
You blame whatever. Exactly.
I'm serious, dude. These vile fuckers will do that kind of stuff, and then they fall back on, well, I had trauma because my ex did that. I'm like, dude, I'm not that person.
That's your trauma.
Right.
That's your trauma that you went through.
I didn't do it.
Pass it on to somebody else.
Right. I didn't do it.
You.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but yeah, that's exactly my conversation. Yeah. Like, I'm not the person who inflicted the trauma on you.
Right, dude. Like, that's the guy maybe you got a beef with,
Yeah, and that's when you'd be making excuses. But I don't think you are for your stepfather. I think you're telling it as it is, especially since, and again, if he was still doing this and you were saying that's why he's doing this, but not justifying it. So I don't think you're making excuses, is all I'm saying.
So to go off of that, so in my story, to kind of talk about what you're talking about a little bit, in my story, the character is raped by a babysitter, and that goes into the character in the story, and that really happened to me in real life too. And
what?
I remember the first time I talked about that, I have a brother who has molested kids. He's a fucking sick bastard.
Jesus.
And he was there when I was raped too. Like, he was raped as well. And I think that he thinks that because it happened to me, it's okay to do this or some bullshit. But there was I never told my parents about this, and I did eventually, and here's why. Because my biological father, who was never around, didn't really do shit for me. I kind of met him a little bit when I was like a little bit more grown, and we, whatever. But we were never close at all. But my brother was over at my mom's house, and he's drunk as shit, and he's talking about how his father raped him. And that didn't happen. But what did happen was a babysitter did. So I had to tell him, because I felt like it was my duty at that point to, like, rape is a fucked up thing. I don't want somebody accused of that if they didn't do that,
Yeah.
And I knew what really happened. He kind of blacked it out, I guess. And, I had to break it down. But in order to do that, I had to talk to my dad about what happened to me, that was pretty hard, And, because I had to ask him, I was like, you remember when we were kids, you had this guy watch us, and his name was, I don't know his name, but blah, blah, blah. And he was, oh, yeah, I do remember. What was that guy's name? And he told me, and I was like, why do you ask? And I had to tell him and then go tell my brother, like, this is what really happened, But, so yeah, I definitely went through that, but multiple times, not just him. There was like a couple female babysitters, that did things. And so, yeah, from a young age, a very,
well, let's not dwell on that one too much.
Yeah. So again, the character in the story, he's abused. His stepfather beats the mother. He is eventually raped. I don't know where that fits in.
I think we gotta watch the R word on this one.
Oh, I mean, what are you gonna do? It happened. I don't know.
No, I don't care about that. What Tiki said. I don't know.
Yeah. So So at this point in the story, now this doesn't really happen. This is part of the story that's fake.
Yeah.
Is my stepfather kills my or no, wait a minute. My stepfather hits my mother and I kill my stepfather in the story to protect her. And that's where she screams the line that really did happen, that she doesn't want me. And I end up going to Metzenbaum, which is the home that I really did go to. So the part about killing my stepfather didn't happen. That's not real, but everything else is real. So I go to this home, Metzenbaum. I delivered for Amazon, and this place traumatized me so bad. Again, I could tell you things that happened to me 2, 3, 4. I can't tell you everything that happened to me there because it was so bad that I blocked it out. And I haven't done that with a lot of things. I remember everything like yesterday. So I had an Amazon, and I had to deliver to this place, and I couldn't do it. I pulled up in the lot. I could not go in.
Yeah.
I could not physically enter this building, which is crazy. But one thing that happened, my earliest horror memory is tied to that place. And in the movie, I'd like to put this in there some fucking way, but I know I can't because if you remember back in the day, whenever Michael Jackson would have a new video, they would have a national, it was on TV, prime time.
Yeah.
Everybody sits down to watch it, multi-million-dollar thing. It wasn't, just randomly on MTV.
Yeah.
So Thriller came out, the video for Thriller. And that was my first earliest horror memories, watching the Thriller video, because that was the only good thing that ever happened to me in this place,
Right.
And so we all got together. So that's how I could tell if I wanted to figure out the time frame. I could just, when did Thriller debut, and that's when I was there. So but yeah, that was like literally the only good memory that happened to me there. So in the story, in there, staff members treat me like shit. I get beat there. The other, I don't want to call them inmates because they're just kids that are there, abuse me, bully me. I remember one time this one girl bit me and it got infected. Like nobody took me to a doctor or anything. It was just like, fuck it, you're cool. Whatever. So this all happens to me in Metzenbaum. And somewhere in the story, my story, there's a girl that befriends me in there that, is the only person there that gave me the time of day. She eventually is released from the hospital. Again, that's not real. And then while in the hospital, I have like a Dr. Loomis character that's fucking seeing me and talking to me and everything, by the way, too. But at this point, I'm a little bit more teenager or whatever. Like the character in there is like a big hulking individual because, a guy my size isn't going to be intimidating. So burns the place down. So the place burns down. They assume everybody's dead. I, of course, am not dead. Dr. Loomis' character is not dead because he was off that day or whatever the fuck. And the girl's not dead because she was released before I burned the place down. And then, so I get out of the hospital, kill my mother, which, I guess she's not going to ever have to see now. Which that would have been difficult to deal with. A little bit. Hey, Ma, tell you how I really feel, I guess. So, and then the whole thing, like he's getting even with a lot of the people that fucked with him, the dude that, molested him, the, whatever, bullies that treated him like shit, the people involved in the hospital that didn't go up in flames. And the whole time the doctor is trying to find him because he's, trying to fix him or whatever. And, and then eventually the girl's the final girl and she ends up killing him for whatever reason. And there you have it. But that's my idea for the movie. And all of it's true, except for I don't burn down the institution. I don't kill my father. I don't kill my mother. I don't kill anybody.
Yeah.
So
you say.
I've been the witness to murder, but I was never the one to actually do the murdering.
There, my kid. Wait, what? Say that again. You're a witness to
murder?
I
said I've been the witness to murders, but I've never actually been the one to do the murdering.
All right, so let's take on something more positive here, because Jesus. So it was Michael Jackson's Thriller was your first horror thing, right?
My first horror memory that I can think of, yeah.
And when you saw that, like, what made you kind of, was it just like the first positive thing you saw in that time period, or what? I mean,
is a horror thing even positive? Like, is it, people are, he's turning into a thing. He's stalking the girl. People are maybe, not dying in this, but the threat of death is there.
Because maybe you saw him as a werewolf lashing out. That's kind of what your inner child wanted to do.
Could be. I wonder what that would be that made me see it as a positive. But it definitely
you saw him as like, he was playing a jock for sure in that opening scene, but he was still kind of very timid and meek and shy.
Yeah, he was Michael.
Maybe you saw that, as like the guy who's maybe not knowing at the time because you're just a kid, but relating to that because you're contained and quiet and shy and just trying to keep your head down, stay, avoid landmines, stay out of trouble. And
right.
You just had this wolf inside you that just wanted to burst out and destroy everything.
Hey, you're onto something, Brewster.
I have my moments.
You should do this professionally, man. Yeah,
I have my moments.
That could very well be it. But yeah, then after that, like we just getting, again, staying on a little bit of a positive note for a minute. I eventually bounced around a couple foster homes, some good, some bad, some great. And I ended up my mom ended up getting custody of us again, which hindsight, I think was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But
yeah.
If I would have stayed my foster parents, I like to say I would have did a lot better in life because they were in a better position to take care of me, and I like to say that I would have grown up in a better neighborhood, that my talents wouldn't have been wasted and they, I would have been developed better. But I know a lot of kids that grew up in North Railton that are not such good kids. So who knows if I wouldn't have fell down the same rabbit holes that they did. And, who knows?
Were your foster parents okay?
Oh, they were awesome, man. My foster father, for my money, is the greatest man that ever lived. I try every day to be like this dude, and I hope I succeed at least somewhat. And
you
my
still
foster
have contact with them?
What's that?
You still have contact with them?
No, they both passed. They both passed a long time ago. She was born the same year as my mom, but she died almost 20 years ago. My mom was 60-something when she died. So I think she was in her 40s when she died, and he was 51 when he died.
Yeah.
So they both died relatively young. And neither one of them had any kids of their own. They fostered a couple kids, and then they eventually fostered a couple more and then adopted those as my 2 brothers and 2 sisters. But I always kept into contact with them like the whole time. I ended up again, dude, I was tested. I have a genius level IQ. It's crazy.
And you're modest.
What?
And you're modest too.
I am. But I'm just saying, so I even though I was there at like 4 years old, I was able to remember their phone number, their address, everything like that. So one day I just picked up the phone when nobody was paying attention and called them. I was like 5-6 years old. And when I called them, my foster mom answers the phone, and the Stevie Wonder song I just called to say I love you was playing. And she started crying and everything. But that's how I came back into contact with them. And I go out there. I even lived there a little bit when I was a teenager for a little bit too. So I was out there all the time. And I always called them mom and dad. I never called them by their name. And so a lot of times it gets confusing, especially for my wife. I'll say my dad. If I say my dad, that could be anybody. It's 3 different people, so it's kind of weird.
Now, once you saw that Michael Jackson stuff, were you hooked on horror since then? I mean, did you?
Oh, most definitely.
I think we pinpointed why you like the Friday the 13th stuff.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. I'm not dissing you on this one, but he was, in his case, he was, his outside issues could be like a metaphor for your internal stuff. And he was, he was an outcast. He was a loner.
Yeah, could be. I was always too. I've got 9 brothers and sisters, I think.
Yeah.
I'd have to count them. I lose track, but I think there's 9 of them. And I was always by myself. My mom always said she wouldn't even know I was in the house. I was always by myself. That I never really fucked with any of them. So yeah.
And what did he do when he lost the one person? He raged out, because that's what you wanted to do, especially since your siblings, who some of them you said weren't the greatest, could be seen as the careless drug using camp counselors.
Oh yeah, no, most of them aren't. Most of them are fuck-ups.
You see my point?
Yeah, no, I
Jason was surrounded by toxicity, as were you.
Yeah. The funny thing though about my early obsession with horror is we had a mom and pop video store. We'd go there and just rent whatever. And I was so afraid of horror movies. We watched them anyway, but I was so afraid of them. I was so afraid, especially Freddy Krueger, dude. To this day, I get Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dude.
It's 100% true.
Jam.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But they had one of them life-size standees of Freddy Krueger, and I could not walk past it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even look at it. And I was fucking big bitch, dude. I was so fucking afraid of fucking everything. I used to sleep with the blankets all the way over my head. And I did this until I started sleeping with chicks, dude. And, then that's the first time, like, well, dude, she can't see me sleeping with the blanket over my head. I got to, that's the only thing that got me out of it. But I would think in my head that the killer would come in, see me as a pile of clothes on the bed, not see me as a person because my head's covered, and then not kill me.
My brother did that. We used to, we'd spend the weekends at our grandma's house as you do when you're kids. And around that time when we were kids was Saturday nights. I can't remember what standard cable station had Unsolved Mysteries followed by Sightings. And it was always like 11 o'clock until 1, and we always had the genius idea to watch that right before we went to bed. And you're in quiet grandma's house with the Unsolved Mysteries theme song going through your head. He said he would keep the radio by his bed in case aliens showed up. He was going to blast the radio because that would do something,
A child's logic, I guess.
That would scare them away, he thought.
But yeah, so just seeing all this shit as a kid just very much desensitized me to like anything, again, dude, I literally watched a guy get his head blown off and it didn't bother me.
Well, I mean, did you use it as an escape? Obviously, not the head blown off, but horror.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what? How old were you? You said when you watched Thriller?
It was the debut. Oh, so you'd have to go up and look. Is it 83? Is it 83? 82, 83?
Sure, totally.
One or the other. People watching this know. It's definitely before 84, but you just look the world premiere of the Thriller video.
Did you ever have to go on therapy or meds or anything because of all this?
No. I tried to see a counselor a couple of years ago, and Freud said the Irish are immune to the counseling. I think that's true because at least it never did anything for me. But the counselor always was so amazed at my life story that it seemed like I was just entertaining this broad. So I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like there was, and it was always like, oh, the women in your life suck. And, that's the reason you are the way you are. It was like, I didn't feel that was right. Maybe it was right. Who knows?
Well, last summer when I was going through my issue with that thing, we talked about it and you'd said you had to cut people loose as well because they'd had drug use.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not above cutting people off.
Well, can you talk about who that was or?
I don't know. Let me think for a minute. People that do lots of drugs. I don't really know what I was talking about then. But I know. Who do I know that was like a big drug addict that I stopped fucking with? Your brother. Oh, I never fucked with him to begin with. So not him. My wife came down. She's sitting there.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Doug. Yeah, it's not my problem though. There's somebody that got really heavy into drugs, and I was just like, yeah, I can't fuck with this guy anymore because he just sees that's just who he is at that point. I don't know why it's escaping my mind.
Well, because of your parents, it's probably easy to cut them loose because you ain't going through that shit again.
Oh yeah, I'm just not. Like anything. Like if a person is like no good for you, and they're not going to do anything positive for you, and all they're going to do is drag you down. It's better to just not fuck with that person. Just like, all right, dude, like I don't having my foster parents and having that tight family that I had that wasn't blood related to me made it so easy to cut off family members because a lot of people have this misconception that because you share DNA with somebody, you have to give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
And you don't because that's happenstance. That's something that just happened that you happen to be born into this family. Like, you pick and choose your actual friends, you know what I mean? So like, I think that, people that you pick to be around you should matter more to you than somebody that just happened to be around you. So when these people in my family, like, again, my brother, she was talking about child molester, drug addict, all kind of fucked up. I can't have him in my life.
No. That's an easy one to cut out.
So, like, just because we're blood related, I got to care about you? No. And then as a later person, like, again, I stopped really feeling like a long time ago. I can't, so like with my mom being who she was and what she was to me, it wasn't hard to not talk to her anymore. It was like that worked for me. That was like, all right, cool, man. I just don't want to do this. I do have, I guess, one regret about that is, I always wanted to go up there and sit down and like really explain all this to her. But by the time I came to that, she was already dementia, shit like that. And it would have been like, what am I going to put her through this for? You know, maybe she'll understand what I'm saying. Maybe she won't. But either way, it's not going to be positive for her. It won't be positive for me because she's not going to know anything what I'm talking about. So I never did that. But I, kind of regret not doing that earlier and just basically letting her off the hook for her whole life.
Well, I mean, she was living without you. I can't imagine her later years prior to passing were very pleasant ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think she lived pretty far away in her last couple of years, so she probably just chalked it to that. I ain't trying to take a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
But that was part of it. But more of it was I just didn't want to talk to her anymore. I talked to my sister about it because my sister was around. My older sister, she did a lot of the raising of me when my parents were on the drugs and everything like that. So while she's only 3 years older than me, she was more of a mom to me than my actual mom.
Well, it's a good thing you had her, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Sometimes.
Oh, now, so you dove like headfirst into the horror community and were doing podcasts long before I even came along.
Yeah.
Have you met a lot of other people with this and like kind of maybe shared your stories with them, or is this like your first time really going balls deep?
This is probably the most at one time, but I don't like hide any of this. Like ever since everybody found out about like the thing I had to tell my dad about and everything, like after that I was just like, fuck it, what does it matter now? Yeah. So I'm just kind of an open book with whatever. I just think it's easier to just talk about things, I guess. Like yeah, I don't hide anything. So, but yeah.
Well, when did you really start deep diving into the horror genre and the horror community?
Well, I've always been a horror fan, going back to being a kid, and but it really got into like going to cons and different things like that because my youngest son's into horror.
Yeah.
So he watched a lot of these horror movies with me, and it was a way for me and him to bond to go different places. We went to Crystal Lake together, and me and Ryan connecting over Friday, or my ex co-host on the Whole Dam Enchilada Pod. Me and him bonded over Friday the 13th, and our love for Friday the 13th. And I've known Ryan many years before that, but we never really got onto that level because of that. And then I started doing the podcast because of the Jason Takes PA event and all the shit that got fucked up with that.
Yeah.
It's just a way to have a voice about shit like that.
Yeah.
And then through doing the podcast, I met people like you. I met, people like Adam Marcus. I met, different people, Eddie Langle, who does movies in Cleveland, just different filmmakers and just different actors. And it just trips me out how like close knit this community is and how everybody's so cool and everybody's there for everybody.
Well, because I think all of us, because you can like horror movies, that's one thing, but to latch onto it the way we have, it's because all of us have some kind of fucked up trauma from our past.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm serious.
I mean, most of us do. I haven't really met anybody that doesn't.
Well, I'm talking about the insane level of shit that we've talked about, whatever. But because, like I said, I dove into it. I've always been into horror myself ever since I was a little kid. I always liked the monsters, but I think 2 years ago, 2024, is when I kind of like I had the Brewster page for a year prior, but I didn't really start doing like the captions of the week and stuff, and even then it wasn't that much. But the same thing, I went through some trauma, and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna do what I can with this. And I met Tiki, and you know what I mean?
No, I didn't know anybody in Cleveland that was into this shit. Like Cinema Wasteland's been a thing for 20-something years. I didn't even know it existed. Which is crazy.
2018 was my first one.
Yeah. So I found out about that after I went to cons out of state, Yeah. And so I didn't know anybody in Cleveland that was like on this level. I had friends in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, all over the country that I met online and through different things, but nobody from Cleveland until Tiki. Yeah. And I met those guys through Brett Wagner, really. Because
that's right. You're friends with him, aren't you?
Yeah. Brett Wagner, the Lost Leatherface, he was supposed to do their show, their first show that they had, the Ohio, what do you call it, the Ohio Terracon?
Yeah.
And I had met Zach at a different thing, he was promoting the zombie walk and in Lakewood. And I had met him very briefly there and bought some DVDs from him and stuff, I didn't really know him. But Brett was supposed to do their show, and he got a gig, so he couldn't do it. So he hooked him up with oh my God, Leatherface that just passed.
Oh fuck, man!
I know the guy too. It's not Bill Johnson. It's Bob Elmore. Bob Elmore. And so Bob Elmore replaced him at the con, which was awesome because Bob's great. But he was like, "Hey, I know this guy because he had just been on my podcast." Brett had. It's like, I know this guy does a podcast, and they let me. Tiki and Zach ended up letting me do the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast live there, and gave me a table to set up and stuff like that. And so that's how I met those guys. And then through those guys, you met you and so on and so forth. But I didn't know anybody from Cleveland doing this shit.
It's a very tight knit group, though. I mean, it's
everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, it's a very, for lack of a better word, it's a very incestuous group.
Yeah, and from state to state too. Like people know the people I know in Pennsylvania and in Albuquerque and all over the place. It's crazy.
Well, I just saw that JP knows James Carnes, the director of the upcoming Killer Cox.
Oh, right on, cool.
Yeah, so he knew him.
So maybe one day that we could talk to him about that in person. You could finally meet JP in person and put aside whatever this weird thing you have with him, where you just make plans to see him and then don't go because you don't want to meet JP.
Because I want him all to myself, and if you're going to be there, it's just going to cock block me. That's what it is. So, I mean, has it been? So basically, the horror community, the genre, has been very therapeutic for you ever since you were a kid going through this stuff.
I think so. In a lot of ways, and especially like recently, I guess. Like recently, like it's been really, really helpful with a lot of things. Because, again, a lot of this stuff never bothered me. The stuff I went through, like with my older brother, he ended up shooting this guy in front of me, and it's never bothered me.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucked up? Shouldn't that bother you? Shouldn't they traumatize you and have you have nightmares and shit? The fact that it never bothered me fucked me up a little bit recently. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? And B, nobody ever asked me if I was. It didn't bother me, but nobody ever asked me if it bothered me. Did it bother you, Rick? That did bother me. That bothered me that my mom, nobody was like, "Oh fuck, he watched this guy die. You think he might not be okay about it?"
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got through all that shit, dude. I didn't know any of that shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been through a lot of shit. And I just keep ticking. I don't know. I just keep pushing forward. A lot of people in my family, my older brother killed himself. My other older brother probably killed himself. My younger brother killed himself on a motorcycle. So I think could have been. Rumor has it that was suicide as well. And so I got all these people in my life that suicidal tendencies, kill themselves, and I've thought about crazy shit like that, but not really to the extent of I don't think I'd ever do anything like that.
What stopped you?
What stopped me? I don't know. Kids. I think kids.
Yeah. I
had my first boy. He's 28. He'll be 28 in August. When I was 18, barely 18, I think. And I just felt like I got to live for him now. That's why I stopped partying. I didn't drink for 10 years from that point.
Yeah.
At all,
Yeah.
And so I think I told him that before. I'm pretty sure you saved my life. And then now I got the two young kids, and I got to live for at least 10 more years for them. They'll be 10 years. The youngest one will be 21. I think I could check out around then.
I ain't running a Whole Dam Enchilada by myself, dude.
You think it's gonna last over a decade?
Let's hope so, man. I'm having a blast.
So we start making some money for that then.
No, I'll probably earn that cup of coffee. Even promise.
Yeah. So you get to buy a cup of coffee right there. You can donate some money to us. You can hit
shameless plug on my YouTube channel, you piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Well, this is helping you, brother. Yeah, they donate money to me. It goes to you as well.
In the words of you, right on. Oh, Jesus. Well,
You know what's funny about that? I don't know if I told you, but there was this kid that used to always say that when I was like 19, 20, and I made fun of him. Like, that's how I say a lot of the annoying shit that I say all the time is from making fun of somebody so much. Like, dude was like always like right on. I'd be like, I'd make fun of him for it. And now I can't not say it. And it's fucking annoying as fuck. I hate it.
It's called karma, Rick.
Yeah, and then like there was another thing he's always saying is I'm just saying. I don't know if I say that as much as I used to.
Not we had this guy is right on.
Yeah, we had this guy that would say it all the time. We made fun of him. We do like all of his mannerisms and shit. And I got stuck saying that like, oh god, so much. I need a new thing for somebody to say for me to steal so I can get rid of the right on maybe.
Well, you're working with the He's So Cool Brewster. We can get you there.
But nobody says it. It doesn't.
Well, they damn well need to. All right.
Wait, where's the time cue? There it is.
Yeah, we got about 45. We can cut it now if you unless there's something else you want to dig up.
Oh, I mean, like again, dude. Anything else you want to talk about? I am an open book.
No,
most of my trauma though. I think.
Yeah,
talked about witnessing murders. I've talked about being graped. I'm supposed to say graped.
Graped, yes, graped.
He's so funny.
He's saying graped, YouTube. He's saying graped.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
I don't think it'll get banned or anything. I think it just gets dug down, but who cares? Because it's not like it shows up and stuff anyways, you know?
Is your channel monetized? Am I going to spend money from you? Okay.
No, God,
my YouTube channel isn't, but the Facebook is. $5.20 coming our way in the first of the month, I'm pretty sure. $5.20.
I guess it'd be like everyone else before you, for people going through trauma and stuff like that, you know, and like, you know, what words of wisdom you get to them, you know, like if they're
what words of wisdom do I get?
Yeah, to keep fighting, you know what I mean?
That's it, man. I mean, the most important thing is to be true to yourself, man, and like you know, like don't feel like you can't talk about this kind of stuff because you're afraid of what somebody else is going to think of you. Because if somebody thinks, you know, crazy about you anyway, you don't got time for that person regardless, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of just say whatever the fuck. I just say the things I've been through because if that makes you judge me, then I don't want to talk to you anyway. You know, so the most important thing is to be honest and be true to yourself. You know, that's just my things I live by.
Yeah.
Like I don't lie about literally anything at all. Like I don't lie. So, you know, I just say whatever I think. And like, you know, I don't worry about what other people think of me.
No, it's good words of wisdom because you're not wrong. It's if people want to laugh at you or judge you, whatever, then fuck them in the first place. It's not like you asked for this kind of stuff, you know?
Right. Well, there was a time when I was younger that I was so worried about what people thought of me. I was like, you know, like worried about being judged, bullied, and, you know, like, oh, I didn't have the right shoes because I grew up dirt poor or shit like that. I was like, now I don't even give a fuck. So that's why I tell my kids. And I have these conversations I'm having with you. For the most part, I'll have them the same kind of things with my kids. They know everything about me. I don't hide anything from them. And I want them to feel the same way. Like, you want to come and talk to me about anything, you can. And they do, you know, for the most part.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, you know, I'm glad you're still here, man. I feel grateful that you welcomed me into the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast family when you did.
That's only because you looked like you were 20 and knew what you were doing with technology, but you don't. And I got an old man like me, and oh well.
I know more about doing the technology than you do, so we'll leave it at that. Right?
Oh, speaking of technology, I got a video I'm supposed to make later. Let's see how this works.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
This will be probably airing after you post that video. So what is it?
Oh, Ryan texted me about this thing that happened around the corner from him. It was a news story about somebody trying to break into a car, and inside the car was a Michael Myers mannequin. And then they start blasting on the car. They shoot this car.
I heard about that,
dude. So I just thought it'd be a good video for the channel, but I got to figure out how to do it. And I think I know how to do it. So if I can do this, I'll be impressed with myself. If I can't, and if it looks stupid, I'll just send you the footage I have and let you try to figure something out.
So let me get this right. So because now that you know that I'm not younger than you and I'm not as a wizard in technology, would you have still asked me to be on the show last year? Oh, he hesitated, you motherfucker.
Well, I have to again, dude, I'm honest. I'm honest. Well, maybe, probably. I can't say for sure. But that was my in. It was just like with Bethany. I needed a female. Preferably a good-looking one. And I think we checked those boxes. You know, so I thought that would be good for viewers to have a female perspective. And then I needed another male just because if Ryan wasn't around, I needed another person. Didn't have to be a male, just another person to do it with. And if you knew technology, that would make it better. And I figured you might, but I don't. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident you would have been the next choice. Well, Tiki was unavailable the night that I needed him.
Oh, that one I know. So
Tiki would have been the guy because he knows the technology, and he's funny, and he's a totally different personality than me. But he can't commit to. What day do we do this? Thursdays.
All right, we just put this episode put a strain on me and Rick's friendship right then and there. I'm kidding. Well, regardless, I am still grateful.
No, but it's definitely worked out, man. Everybody loves you, and we're selling your T-shirts, and a couple people bought them, so that's cool. And yeah, so I'm getting something out of you. I think. Well, you get the profits, I don't, but. I think I got a couple of your people that watch your show watching my show, so that's cool. I mean, our show. It's our show. It's our show. My show. Our show. I brought you into this. It's a group effort. It's a 3-way deal. Or a 4-way deal with Tiki, who helps us out when he has time, when he remembers to do shit.
When he's not practicing karate in Zach's attic.
I need a video of that so bad.
I know, right?
Dude, you know how many views would you get for that? That would, dude. I think I'm gonna go buy the getup and I'm gonna just go shoot it myself. I'll shoot it. See, if I shoot it, I know I can get him to edit it because it's done. He did it. It's shot. All he needs to do is put it in a cap cut, throw a thing there, here, and there, and we can make it work. So I think I'm gonna do that. But it has to be. He's moving though.
Yeah, I saw the group chat. He's moving.
But so we'll have to. We won't have Zach's attic for much longer, is what I'm saying.
We can still get him to do it. The location doesn't matter. It's just
no. The location matters. It has to be in the attic. So if he doesn't have an attic that's set up that way at the new house, we'll have to take his shit back to Zach's house, which I will do because this video is going to be priceless.
Or we just message him and tell him that he's got to get on that before he moves.
Oh, it's only days. I don't have time to get the karate gi. I don't think I do.
All right, topic for another video. Or we'll get out of here. I'll let you do your thing. Thank you for coming on here, man. And
no problem, man. Now, try to edit this and make me look like I know what I'm fucking doing here, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know technology. Remember?
Well, get with somebody that does, man.
No, you did just fine. So we'll cut this. I'll see you too. Oh yeah, you did good, man. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Let me on here.
And, I'll see you tomorrow and every Thursday at 7 p.m. on the Whole Dam Enchilada on Facebook and YouTube.
The YouTubes, the Facebook. We used to be on the Spotify and the iTunes, but I don't know how to get us on there, and nobody else does either. I'm not on.
I gotta get Cass to help me. She's on there. Maybe she can tell me how to do it.
I use YouTube Music. Maybe I can look into that.
Yeah, something. So we can get an audio version of the show.
All right, we'll look into that in the near future. So, Rick, thank you again. Watch us every Thursday live at 7 p.m. on the Whole Dam Enchilada podcast on the Facebook and the YouTube. Anything you want to add before we get out of here, Rick?
Nah, man, I got nothing.
All right, stay cool.
Was I supposed to have something?
What's that?
So was I supposed to have something?
You can steal my line on my show.
But I don't remember what you say. Freaky Frighteners out. Something. I don't know.
And on that note, we cue the music.
All right.